What up? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And look at you. You done stumbled upon little OTB Saints, where we bring you all the latest black and gold coverage.
Who are the Saints going to draft? Who's going to be their quarterback? What does the salary cap look like? All that information and more.
Hope you enjoy it. Like, subscribe. Now it is Tuesday at 9 a.m., which means we talk to the Saints insider, Nick Underhill, Nick_Underhill. neworleans.football is the site. I'm a proud subscriber, have been for many years. You should be as well. Nicky, what's up, man? How we doing here on this Tuesday?
Doing good. How you guys doing?
Doing well. I imagine things are going very well. I mean, all the analytics we're seeing on this side of the equation is that people are just gobbling up Saint stuff right now. So how are things going at neworleans.football?
It's always up over here, man. It's always up over here. Everything's been, good. Look, I think one of the things that's been good overall, though, is that like they've remained interesting even during this down spell. Like the team hasn't yet become the 90s Lions or whatever it is, or early 2000s Lions. Like that's when I'll be worried. But right now people are still excited and watching and reading and all that stuff. So all things are good over here.
And again, guys, New Orleans on football, just the deep dives, just the news, the insight, fantastic, well worth it if you are a New Orleans Saints fan. Nick, let's just start with some of the obvious stuff here. Let's start with coordinators. As there's a lot of Doug Nussmeier going around, there's a lot of Brandon Staley going around. Former LSU defensive coordinator Durante Jones also interviewed here. But all the interviews are done, or at least all prerequisites that can be, that have to be met before a hire are done. Is it going to be Nuss and Staley?
Yeah,
okay.
It'll be those two. I think Nuss will probably get hired pretty soon. It sounded like that was kind of like nearing toward that, like couple little things to put together, and then that one's going to get done. And then I think it'll be Staley too. It sounded like Staley from the beginning. I think it'll be Staley at the end. And I think that's probably how you want to see it play out, because those are his guys. You want to see him kind of aligned with his people and not have it be like a Dennis Allen situation where he's trying to get people and he can't get people in. And, it's just kind of built in, especially with Nussmeier. Like he's been with him at multiple stops, and it seems like that's kind of key to success. Like going to the Seinfeld Larry David thing, like, they're going to write, like, have them write together. Like you're going to get you're going to get a better show like that. So, I mean, I think that's probably the best way to go about it. And, Staley, I think, is super interesting, too. I mean, you start looking at some of the stuff he does. I don't know, how it's going to work if he's back in a coordinator role. I don't know if the LA success was, like, really because of having great players, or if, getting the head coaching stuff off allows him to get back to being a better coordinator. But a lot of the theory and a lot of the stuff on what he does is kind of really interesting. And I think it's a very highly intelligent individual. The gap and a half scheme and all that stuff, and the pattern matching. It just kind of seems like his whole defense is built to kind of have answers for everything in real time, and maybe being a defensive coordinator, kind of having those complexities and whatever. Like maybe it allows you to kind of coach that and install it, and just if you're paying 100% of your attention to making sure everybody knows your defense instead of so much time on the defense but having to oversee everything else. Maybe you can get back to being, what he was at one point in his career, which was, one of the rising, bright young minds of the league. So I'm interested to kind of see how that plays out once he gets in that role. But yeah, I like the idea of him getting these guys. The major concern for me is that I don't know that you have the, prototypical alpha dog in that room. And look, you can have a lot of really tough dogs in different shapes and sizes, but a pit bull just kind of comes across a little bit different, and hopefully they get one of those somewhere on the staff.
All right, so now that, we kind of know what the coaching staff's going to be, certainly in head coach and coordinators, we got a pretty good idea. What about personnel? Like, what, in your opinion, is going to be that first move? Because we know the Saints, their age, the cap situation. What do you think is going to be the first move that we see as far as personnel before we get to the NFL draft?
Great question. They could go so many different directions with this, and I'm sure you guys have been talking about it for a week. The non-commitment to Derek Carr was it's the most fascinating thing that's kind of happened so far. And I do think cap-wise that you're tied to him for a year. But the fact that he didn't come out and say this is his guy, like that says a lot. Like he was able to come out and, say Alvin is somebody he's excited about. Nobody asked him about Eric McCoy, but if you ask him about Eric McCoy, I guarantee he says that's my starting center, So you don't have trouble committing to people that you're committed to and that it's obvious you're going to be committed to. It's a very, very least, he made it clear this is not my guy. Like, this could be my quarterback, but it's not my quarterback. That's how I kind of read that. So I think he's going to be on the team. But look, I don't know which way they're going to go with this. I feel like they got to cut a couple guys. I feel like you kind of got to start the house cleaning a little bit. But I mean, honestly, like we're at day 5, day 6 of this. Him being the coach, like still trying to figure it all out. I'd be lying if I sat here and said, like, I had insight into how he's thinking. I don't. Like, I don't know what he's thinking yet. But I do think they got to clean house a little bit with some of these guys. And, yeah, it could go a lot of different directions. Obviously, I think you're at a place with Cam. I think you try to get a pay cut with him. Tyron's obviously at a point in his career where I think you're looking at him. DeMario's at a point in his career. If you're starting to rebuild, I think you're looking at him. I put Taysom in that basket, even though you only save like $100,000 if you get rid of him. So I don't really see him going, but like none of these are easy decisions. And I don't know if they want to start a reboot or kind of keep it going. Some of the messaging was that he feels that they're close and that they could be a competitive team next year, which, that doesn't surprise me to hear him talk like that. I don't think you make a hire of somebody that's like completely disaligned with the organizational thought process overall. And, we know Mickey and them have long felt that you can compete in this division while trying to rebuild. I think they're going to try to keep going, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. So I don't know. I'm fascinated and I'm trying to figure those things out myself. But yeah, those are definitely the most interesting things going on with the team right now.
Yeah, that was the funniest part about the competing answer to me was he was like, the subtext was him being like, I mean, I don't know, dude. The NFC South sucks. So, like, in this division, you can maybe have a chance. No matter what. Have you? And this is a very nebulous question. Like, I don't know that there are going to be a lot of concrete answers to be had here. But with a week on the job and you having the contacts that you do. Have you heard anything about how the building's receiving him, how he's, his rhythm, his style? Like, do we have any early returns on how he feels and operates as the head coach?
Yeah, I was asking people that actually yesterday. Yeah, and I mean, I think people are happy with him, who he is as a person, how he carries himself, how he treats people, and I mean that kind of comes across in everything with him, though, is that he just seems like a genuinely like good human being, nice person. And I think we'll find out about like the ability to quote unquote bring it like in tougher situations and kind of figure out what that is. That's what I'm most interested with him, though, is like to see if there is that other side to him. But I mean, as far as like working alongside him and all that stuff, like I'm sure people are going to be like very happy with him. It sounds like, he's kind of on top of the P's and Q's, detail oriented, all that stuff. And I think they were kind of shifting more towards that second half of last year with Rizzi, and they're kind of having everything, put together well. But yeah, people seem to like him so far. I mean, Monday was really kind of the first day on the job. But yeah, I mean, it seems like people like him and he's treating people well.
Wow, just amazing black and gold takes right there, Jake.
I don't think I've ever heard any takes that are better than the two guys that just gave you that take.
And you can keep getting them by going ahead and liking, subscribing, ringing the bell to get notifications when we post. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next OTB Saints.